Hey, what's happening? My name's Michael Weintrob. This is my new book, Instrumenthead, published on my new company called Magnet-Bound Press. Instrumenthead, it's where their heads are really at.
Welcome to the Magic Hour, filmed here at SoBou in the French Quarter, whose motto is where life is meant to be lived, not endured. Absolutely blown away by Instrumenthead and would love to know a little bit more about kind of where this all came from, kind of what was your inspiration, and just kind of share a little bit to our audience about your story.
Working in the music business for almost 20 years and came up shooting live concerts. Eventually moved into portrait work, moved from Colorado to New York in 2003. I met with editors at Vibe and Spin and Rolling Stone and Time Magazine. They all told me that my live music work was as good as it gets, but if I wanted to be a portrait photographer in New York, I needed to find my voice. I started shooting bands in the studio. Something that I would always do is say, hey, put your guitar down your shirt. It was something I did back in April of 2000 when I was a house photographer at the Aggie Theater in Fort Collins. It was something that I always did. Eventually I moved into shooting studio work around 2004. In 2008, I walked into a bookstore and I saw a book with a bunch of logos of all these different bands on it. It was called The Disciples by a photographer named James Mollison. I opened it up. It was photographs of people all shot on a white background, very consistent, of music fans. Dolly Parton fans looked like Dolly Parton. They had blonde hair, cowboy hats. Willie Nelson fans had braids. ZZ Top fans had beards. I thought, well, that's really cool. How can I create a guessing game with the musicians themselves? And that's when Instrumenthead was born. That's when I decided to start focusing on it.
This has been a project that you've been working on since 2000. We're talking a 17-year journey you've been on to get to this point when you said it was published a month ago, I believe.
Yeah, April 21st was the release date.
What's been driving you to stay at this and be persistent and see this through? So many people, I feel like, would have given up in that time.
Well, when I was 20 years old, people told me I was good at shooting bands, and I was never really good at that many things, so I decided that's what I was going to do. And I've never really taken a formal photography class. I've always had mentors. I decided, I wanted to be a photographer of musicians. I believed in music. I was always a music fan, and I believed what I was doing was historically valuable. So that's what's been driving me, is to tell the story of these folks that I've grown up loving.
Is there one, when you think about this book being published, that for you stands out as an image that kind of signifies this work that you just completed?
Mickey Hart from the Grateful Dead.
And why is that?
I grew up being a fan of the Grateful Dead. They were my favorite band growing up, going to summer camp. We listened to the Grateful Dead. And the fact that Mickey agreed to do this project was really special. And I went to California, to Sebastopol, and I was 5 minutes from his house. I was so excited. This was a big deal for me. I got a phone call from my mother, who's now passed, saying that my cousin had died the day before. And I was really upset, and I went to Mickey's house and started setting up the studio in Planet Drum. It was basically this giant warehouse where all the drums from the Grateful Dead were there. It was probably a 10,000 square foot warehouse. And I went there, and he's in the back of the room putting wood in this wood-burning fireplace, and he was being kind of aloof, and I pulled out my phone to try to show him some photographs to get him excited about the shoot and get the wheels turning, and he was kind of distant from me. And then at that moment I said, look man, I'm having a serious tragedy now. And he takes his sunglasses off, he looks at me, I told him what happened, he goes, I'll do whatever you want me to do. I buried him in drumsticks like you would bury someone in the sand. I shot portraits of him and his wife and his daughter together. He told me it was one of the greatest photo shoots he's ever done in his career. I went into his room, he started playing kit for me, and at that moment there was another kit next to him. I put my camera down and I sat down at the kit and had a jam with him. It lasted about 10 minutes because I only know a 4-beat and I kind of killed the vibe. But it was great, we turned a negative into a positive, and we just had a great experience together. And those types of experiences have happened to me over and over and over again.
When you think about what you just accomplished, there's a relationship that kind of helps you through it.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys like that for me in this book that inspire me and have been mentors to me and helped giving me the courage to keep going through. One of those guys is Colonel Bruce Hampton, who coincidentally enough passed away a few days ago at his 70th birthday celebration on stage at the Fox Theater. And he's a guy that, you know, encouraged me. He wrote the quote on the back of my book. He's a conduit for people. He helped people kind of express everyone in his life, whether it was musicians or artists or people that surrounded him. He was a guy that helped give people the courage to move forward with what they were doing and told them it was okay to do what they were doing. And for me, he was a guy like that. And I was so honored to be able to give him the book on the day of his birthday show. And he passed that night on stage. And I was in the front row and witnessed the whole entire thing. So it's an honor and a privilege to share the same air with some of these people that are in this book. And the talent that they have and the lives that they've led. I feel super blessed.
One of the things I do throughout the year is I'll go and do workshops with campus tour guides and college students on helping them understand how to make a real meaningful connection with another human being while they're maybe leading a campus tour or they're maybe doing an orientation program. I'm curious, Michael, what advice, if you were standing in a room of 200 tour guides right now, college students, what advice would Michael give to them as it relates to human connection?
Listen to people, first off, and you can do anything you want in this world if you really believe in it and you have the drive to do it. And if people tell you it's not the right thing to do and you believe it, you can do it.
I feel like there's no other city I'm supposed to be in the world doing this work. And this Mardi Gras was a really special one because it was bookended by pairs of glass beads on two totally different days. One was the first Friday, I caught this pair, and on Fat Tuesday morning, I caught this pair. And I ran into somebody during all this because I never took them off. And they were like, "Do you know what glass beads mean?" I'm like, "Glass beads is good luck. 2017 is going to be a phenomenal year." And it already had been. Like, so many things have been moving in 2017. So the fact that this book came out in 2017, I'm going to leave you with something I leave every guest with.
Oh, wow.
But you're getting your own pair of Mardi Gras glass beads that honestly, have no doubt 2017 is going to continue for you, my friend.
Oh man, thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate